please take our attendance. You're muted.
Okay, sorry about that. So I know that chair is here. I know the vice chair is here. I know secretary is here. Membership I don't see. Yes, he is. There he is. And campaigns, absent. Outreach, absent. Legislative is here.
Yes, I'm sorry. Outreach is here. Outreach is here.
Oh, sorry. We got it. Fundraising, absent. Communications, absent. And I know affiliates is here.
Communications there.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Just really quickly, just for transparency, normally I have my camera on. My camera is my phone. My phone has not been charging. I have not been able to get my teenagers to help me figure out why that is. So I am no camera tonight. Good news, I can eat my girl dinner in my pajamas while we run this. All right, I will open the floor for public comment. I'm going to call on Mr. Wiley first as he is pressed for time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that very much. We are in an amazing phase within the Libertarian Party of Colorado, and I'm particularly excited for the things that are yet to come for us. We've had an incredible boost from the prudent and wise decisions of our board over the last couple of months, and I think we're in a real position to take advantage of the strategic opportunities given to us coming up in this election cycle, as well as move it into the next year and the future of the party in general. So I really appreciate everybody and their hard work and leadership, and helping to make my job as fun and easy as possible. I will be making a slight adjustment over the rest of the campaign season, moving into a part-time as opposed to full-time capacity. But I'm still very much available to all of you, and look forward to continuing to support and serve you and the Libertarian Party and the goals that we have, as we have now our hands closing on the throat of the state. I think just a little bit more persistence will achieve our ultimate goal. I appreciate you guys for making all of that possible. So talk soon. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Wiley. All right, public comment. The floor is open. Mr. Atwood, I see you.
Good evening, all. Points. One, the most libertarian candidate on the ballot may be running as an approval voting presidential candidate. That's Blake Huber, a previous state chair and active with the Libertarian Party. Second point is that I look forward to being part of the forum on October 1st for Congressional District Boebert and the chair on October 1st, hosted by League of Women Voters. And the last and most important, I've got invitations and details for a potato party at the Atwood Supple household September 20th. And if you're curious about how strange it is, give David Atkins a call and he'll report on having attended at least one of them. So, any questions? Approval voting is life is well and good. We've got congressional candidates and presidential candidates. Look forward to talking with you. And life is, I'm losing money on my $2 bets, 5 vectors that you had an opportunity to participate in. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Atwood. Is there any further public comment? All right, seeing none, we will move forward. Also, really quickly, just as kind of an announcement, recap, housekeeping, possibly, I have been on a hiatus for the past month. I started about August 1st, and it went through the 1st of September. I have a lot of things going on in my personal life. My husband is not well, and he was traveling home to say goodbye to his family. And so I was dealing with that in his round of infusions, which is kind of like chemo. So I was dealing with a lot on top of all of the lawsuits and things like that. So over this last month, I have been completely out of the office and not on top of anything. I left it in the hands of my vice chair and my executive director. So if there's any complaints about jobs done or not done, I'm open to that feedback, and I will pass that criticism along to the shoulders who will need to bear the brunt of that. All right. Now we need to move to the approval of the agenda.
Madam Chair, there is one removal from an item from the agenda. That would be 13.2, and that would be to approve $500 for tabling fees. Apparently it is no longer necessary, so 13.2 should be removed.
Great, thank you so much. Also, with that, really quickly, I know on the agenda it says Christopher live at 13.3. He will be entering the call at 7:45. So he's got a time window to be in here and pitch. He's with the Independent Convention Committee. They want to pitch an idea to us. So if there's no objection, whatever we're working on at that time, I will pause so that we can allow him to speak to us to his agenda item. Is there any objection to either of those two needs? Is there any additions to the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. Wow,
And we did, and there is the minutes of the August 12th meeting are wherever they need to be. So they should be approved, or hopefully they can be approved.
okay. Have you all had a chance to look over? Do you have any corrections to those minutes?
No objection, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Hearing no objection, those minutes stand approved as written. Wow, look at us go in our business tonight, guys. We're doing it. All right. Do we have any county representatives that would like to speak this evening? I will speak for Arapahoe. We had the chair of Arapahoe resign and change voter affiliation yesterday.
Oh, God.
The reason for that is because of the most embarrassing behavior of this is a direct quote, this is not my personal opinion. The direct quote is, the embarrassing behavior of Miss Karen Ann Harlos is not something that person wants to have affiliated with their name or their work going forward. And that's just another person driven out of the party by that behavior. So that's unfortunate, but the Vice Chairman, Eric Butel, will be stepping up and acting as interim chair going forward. So we had an unfortunate loss there, but I mean, I can't really say that I don't blame him because that behavior has been quite atrocious. Is there any other county affiliates that would like to speak about any upcoming events or any orders of business? All right, we will move on. We do not have LNC representation. I've been in contact with our regional representative. They have moved on the list for us to form the investigatory committee for the actions taken by the LNC secretary over the last few months, basically abrogating our right to self-autonomy. So that committee is well underway. They've been meeting with people of interest and interviewing them to compile a report and recommendations to the national board about the behavior of the secretary and her actions here in Colorado. That's all I have from the regional representative. So board reports, as I stated, I have been out of the office. I'll just call on each director to just give a quick overview of something they've achieved over this past month. I have achieved a break, which I have not had since 2021 when I was elected vice chair. Mr. Gonzalez.
Yep, thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to report on two committees that I sit on, which is the Finance Committee as well as the Party Committee. And we do have an event, the Christmas party, being planned currently. So we're still everyone should plan on coming to the Christmas party for sure. And in terms of the Finance Committee, we don't have a secretary. However, we did vote to add Voter Gravity as kind of our database. And Voter Gravity does have the feature of submitting automatic reports to the SOS and the FEC. So we're moving on that. I believe migration is going okay, if I'm not mistaken. But that's all I have to report on those committees, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. I really appreciate that update. We do not have a treasurer.
But we can, Madam Chair, we should report that the SOS filings and the FEC filings did get made by the gracious help of Mr. Williams and Miss Spink.
Thank you so much. I've been giving out crowns today to everyone that I come into contact with. So, Mr. Williams, you are now the king of the FEC filing report. And we really appreciate your help there. So there's your crown. Mr. Buss.
I've just been doing my normal.
Is this
my
a
normal
beheading situation?
Pardon?
No.
I said, is
You
this
want-
a beheading situation?
No.
We don't like
not at
kings
all.
around here.
No.
Yeah. Well, we all drink tea. Anyway, yeah, I've been doing my normal secretary stuff, mainly just trying to keep my head down. So that's what I've been doing. And I did at the last meeting, we did get two people who wanted to be the electors for the president and vice president, and that all got handed into the SOS, and I got stamped copies that they've been filed. So if anyone wants to know, they've been done. So
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Nelson, for affiliates, do you have anything you've worked on this month in regards to your position?
Actually, something I have been wanting to discuss. Now, I have the affiliate book finally on how to work on this, but obviously we're pretty close to getting that Weld County affiliate going. I just kind of need the contacts of the people who were interested, a couple of who said they were at the last Northern Colorado Liberty on the Rocks. And then I just want to get that that petition going to become an affiliate. So I think that's the next target, and I think we're relatively close on that. And then I think that's the next big focus there. It's just that affiliate, and I think we're pretty close there.
Oh, thank you so much for that. That is something I've been dying to get underway for a very long time. I will have James, Mr. Wiley, reach out and give you those contacts because I know exactly who they are.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so exciting, you guys. We've lost some affiliates over the years, so it's good to see us growing new affiliates.
That's good to know, because then that's places I may have better leverage to start new ones.
Yes, that's going to be great. I'm super excited for that.
Well, if I could have a list of the ones we've lost, that I could recontact the people who were involved in those and see if they'd be interested in getting them back going. You know, it may be a little bit easier to work with something we've had than a cold start.
Yes, let me see what I can do for you for that.
Thanks a ton.
Yeah. Mr. Loria is not here. So no campaigns updates, unfortunately. Communications, Mr. Marinovich, got anything good that happened over the past month for us?
No, just more of the business as usual, just responding to press. inquiries and keeping everybody updated on the social media. So nothing of note.
Thank you so much. Fundraising is not here. Legislative, Mr. Vance.
Yeah, I was tracking along with what was going on with the legislative session, the special session that happened regarding property taxes. They tried to shaft us, and we still really don't know all the details of it. So it's really hard to report on, except they just decided to, once again, obfuscate your
Wishes.
vote. Yes, and your wishes. So they basically made a bunch of backroom deals, and it was incredibly shady. And thankfully, they didn't do worse. That's what I can say about that. Also, I've been helping make some inroads with a lot of people within Jefferson County. We've been helping out with Natalie Minton. I know a lot of people have individually gone and helped out with her campaign. So that's been awesome to see people just coming together, because it's everybody against these crazies in Colorado. So that's it.
Yes, I'm super excited to watch her campaign play out. Of course, we're rooting for her. We fully, support what she's trying to do.
Absolutely.
So, super glad that she's there and willing to give a good go of it.
Absolutely.
Membership, any highlights from you this month?
Nothing in particular. We had the party meetings talking through trying to get the plan together for the Christmas party. Just looked at it in terms of everything going on. If we can figure out a good spot for a centralized spot for a election party or election view night was kind of one of the things that we're not tabled so far, but at least in the process of trying to come up with a good idea. So if anybody has anything, feel free to reach out. Don't want to brain fart on it too much longer.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that as well. We have not had enough events recently. We've been working too hard, I guess. Outreach, Miss Steinke.
Yeah, nothing terribly interesting, just, a lot of liberty-focused events, and then a lot of working with the board on all of the hurdles that we have faced over the past few months. So, but I don't know if this is the place for this, but it might be a good idea if we were able to keep a roster of individuals who might be willing to host events at their homes and do fundraising that way. It would save us a lot of money. And just, sorry, this is not really a board topic or board meeting topic, but that could be helpful for us as we look at things like election night parties.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thanks for throwing that out there. Though it's not a work meeting, we can definitely still take those ideas and run with them. So I appreciate that contribution. Staff reports. Mr. Aiken, you got anything to add to your staff report?
Nothing to report.
Dang. You always got something good to say. All right. Mr. Savoy, how are you doing tonight?
Awesome.
Good. Great. The stream doing great. All that stable.
It's
Perfect. All right.
doing awesome.
All right. So Gloria's not here to speak to the merchandising committee. Our audit committee is not doing anything as of right now. They will be the closer we get to convention, though. We have no special orders, but we do have some unfinished business, apparently, from the last meeting, which I was not present for. So tonight we are going at 12.1 to appoint a convention committee chair. We had an application come in from Mr. Aaron Lamb, and we have not received any other applications for that position. So to plan the convention, we appoint the convention chair, and then he solicits applications, I believe, for his committee. So is there any questions about appointing Mr. Aaron Lamb as convention chair?
Just for a point of note, last meeting there was some issue brought up with Aaron Lamb because isn't he on the jurisprudence committee, and that's they thought there may be some issues there.
I don't think so, because it just plans the convention. There's nothing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just putting it together. It's like creating an event. Mr. Vance, your hand was raised.
I was just going to say what you said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not, it doesn't do, they don't oversee any board action. It's just putting the convention together. So I personally don't see, I guess if there's an issue, somebody could just sue us over it.
The instance has been known.
I mean, you know, so if there's no objection to appointing Mr. Aaron Lamb, Convention Committee Chair, any objection? Hearing no objection, that passes. So now we move on to appointing the Bylaws Committee. Let me pull up my list. I actually have the list ready to go.
Oh my God.
Mostly, except for not pulled up. Here we go. So for the Bylaws Committee, we have received applications from Mr. James Wiley, Mr. Jacob Luria, Mr. Keith Laub, Mr. Kyle Fury, Mr. Brandon Wark, and Mr. Aaron Lamb. And also, I believe the affiliates vote and choose one representative from each county affiliate, but I don't have any of them listed here. But they're automatically appointed, so we don't have to vote them in.
Madam Chair, could you read, I'm trying to write down these names. Could you reread them? Sorry to be a pain.
No worries. Mr. James Wiley.
Yep.
Jacob Luria.
Yeah, okay.
Keith Laub, Laube. Probably I'm butchering that, but.
Okay, don't worry.
Kyle Fury, Furey. Brandon Wark.
Okay.
And Aaron Lamb.
And Aaron Lamb.
Is there any questions about these applications for the Bylaws Committee? Is there any objection to appointing the Bylaws Committee? Hearing none, that is approved. The Bylaws Committee has been appointed, and I will have, I don't know, somebody, either Mr. Gonzalez or Mr. Wiley, reach out to all of the candidates and let them know so that they can set their own schedule and all of that. Also, really quickly, I see Mr. Mayor Aaron Lamb has hopped on the call. I would just like to let him know that he has been approved to be appointed as Convention Committee Chair. I'm so sorry. I have such congratulations for you. All right, moving on to the Platform Committee. So we have received applications for the Platform Committee. We have Miss Erin King. We have Mr. Aaron Lamb. He is going to be one busy gentleman. We are going to give him a crown at convention. Mr. Brandon Wark. Mr. Kurt Wild Forrester. And Mr. Jesse Campbell. You got that? So that would be Miss Erin King, Mr. Aaron Lamb, Mr. Brandon Wark, Mr. Kurt Wild Forrester, and Mr. Jesse Campbell. Is there any questions about the applicants for Platform Committee? All right, hearing none. Is there any objection to appointing these people to the Platform Committee? Hearing none. They are approved as a committee for platform. I will also have at the same time either Mr. Gonzalez or Mr. Wiley notify the platform committee that they have been appointed, and they can set their own schedule and all of that, and appoint their own chair and all of these things. Moving on to new business, we are at 13.1. That is to add our executive director, Mr. Wiley, to the LPCO bank account. He is not here, but I can speak to this. We've had a high turnover of treasurers, and Mr. Wiley has been involved with helping monitor our finances, helping to get wire transfers for the joint fundraising committee. He has been helpful in overseeing that reports are getting done, and he's made purchases as well. So I'm asking that he be added to the LPCO bank account, just because specifically we have a high turnover of treasurers, and it would be nice to be able to have somebody other than me to help make purchases, especially like in person, because I'm never there. Is there any discussion about adding him to the bank account? Is there any questions or?
It seems wise to me. I think we should always have 3 people on the bank account and maybe one person.
Yeah.
Maybe not one person who may not even be on a committee, just for the pure and simple fact that things can happen, and if you're not available, and the chances of you not being available and Jim not being available is kind of remote, but we do have that instance. So I would say get another person on there at the same time if we're going to go to this effort.
Would you like to be Mr. Secretary?
I'm not trying for the. I don't care whether it's. I don't care. If people want me on there, that's fine. But it's just a case of sometimes more the merrier.
Yeah, I think it should be limited to the executive committee and the people working at the direction of the chair. But Mr. Williams, I see your hand raised. Do you have some thoughts for us?
So I'm still on there for the bank account side right now. If need to change that, fine. But
All right.
The one thing I would say on that respect of every time you add someone, it makes it harder to add the next person, because you have to have signatures of every single person to get that person added. So we run the risk of diluting too much to be able to maintain to add new whenever it is time in that respect. So we do need to make sure that we are removing from accounts as appropriate too in that respect. Then the other thing on the treasurer portion of it, of making sure that it should automatically still be doing it from QuickBooks until we swap over, for maintaining records for what transactions we do moving forward. That's the only other thing.
Okay. I was under the impression after going to the bank, I don't know, at some other point, that you were not on the bank account. So I'm so confused, which I need to go to the bank for a lot of things, not particularly this. But yes, I was under the impression that you were removed. So that's interesting. I know that Ms.
If I had been, I didn't get any notification on that. And last time I tried to get in there, everything worked just fine, but it has been a little bit. So
okay.
You can double check on that if you'd like.
Yeah.
Well, I know what. Why don't we just add James Wiley on right now, and then we can sort out whether James Williams is on there or not. And I understand exactly what James is trying to say.
Yeah.
So let's just sort it out. There's no need, but I've always found that we have this with Masonic lodges all the time, where there's only 2 people and then one of them dies, and then you've got pandemonium. Where at least having 3 people on the account, it kind of seems to work out. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's figure that out. And then we can always add or whatever.
Yeah.
If we need to. Okay. So I will entertain a motion to add Mr. Wiley to the bank account.
I so move that we add Mr. James Wiley. James Wiley to the LPCO bank account, allow him to make the necessary transactions thereof.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
I second. Okay.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Are there any opposed? All right, hearing, oh, that passes.
Yeah, any opposed to become members added onto the bank account, you know?
Yeah. We shall punish you by giving
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, so 13.2
Has been removed.
been removed. And I know that Christopher Life will be showing up in 10 minutes. I'm trying to see if I can get him to show up faster. So we can stand at ease for, I don't know, 5 minutes. Let's stand at ease for 5 minutes while I figure this out.
Okay.
Can
Everyone in depth.
can I make a motion to allow Aaron Lamb to speak for a second?
Oh, we don't need a motion. I'll let him speak. We're at ease. Mr. Lamb? Maybe he doesn't want to speak.
If he is trying to talk and it's just not working,
Oh, you know what? I have to unmute him. The thing is,
This
I
is why
forget. No, his mic is able. His mic is
Enabled.
yeah, enabled. I was like, it's not abled. What's the word? Okay. Yeah.
able
So
words are made.
I swear I'm actually really smart and well read. Oh, he's coming in. Okay. Maybe he's having trouble.
he's having some technical issues.
Yay, Mr. Lamb.
Hello, sorry about that. I heard the motion being made and then Teams crashed. I just want to say thank you for the responsibility that the board has entrusted in me for managing the convention committee. I do apologize for missing that discussion that was related to that. Wanted to see if there's any board direction as far as budgeting or any other specific direction.
Yeah, you can't spend any money.
I can do that.
I don't think we have a budget. I think we should probably tell you how much money we have. I think that the last convention, I could be completely wrong, but I believe the last convention was something around 14 or 15,000 spent on to put together.
So less.
I think. Huh?
Nothing. I said less than that.
Yeah, so come in under budget. No, actually, I think a really good person to connect with on that would be Erin King. But that's about the average, is my understanding, for the past two conventions she put together.
Excellent. Yeah, I really appreciate that. From some of the research I've already been doing, I think we can make, especially if from other discussions, we want to make it a business-oriented type of event, and then maybe a fundraiser fun thing afterwards or something. I mean, we can do basic business. I think about $1,500 realistically. Okay.
I would love to be able to make money on this convention. You've talked to me about some really fun ideas that I'm super open to. Do you want to pitch them? Do you want to pitch them right now?
By all means, yeah. So again, the idea for what I would like to see in the convention is a very clean and easy business process. Having the platform committee set up ahead of time, having the bylaws ready, and of course, we have to wait and see who all comes out to the convention with the demographics and different sides and whatnot. But ideally, I'd like to see a very streamlined and efficient convention, and just one day. And then at the end of the business, I would like to have some sort of comedy festival, music festival, something entertainment based, ideally to attract a lot of the libertarians that have no interest in the actual business and the boring part of running the party and maintaining the party, but are definitely interested in seeing some good comedians or good bands. So I do have some personal connections with quite a few, so I'm hoping to leverage that and into further connections. And like I said, the actual business part hopefully will be very cheap, $1,200 to $1,500 for a venue and everything that's included in that. And then the rest of whatever the budget that the board gives me can be utilized towards paying comedians or bands or what have you for the rest of that.
That sounds great. Like, I'm super excited based on our conversations. I'm super excited by what you'll put together. Does the board have any feedback besides me?
I'm excited to see what Aaron comes up with. I think he's going to pull off a fantastic convention.
Completely agreed. If you can do anything for our convention like what you've done for the town of Keensburg, we will all be better off for it.
Thank you.
That wasn't a joke. That was.
Thank you, Kirsten.
Thank you, Mr. Lamb. I'm trying to get a hold of this guy so that he can hop on here. Otherwise, I guess we're going to stand at ease for another 5 minutes. Sorry, guys. I can sort of segue. I'll talk about it unofficially. I don't know. So he is with the Independent Convention Committee for the Independent Convention for RFK, and they have people from the LPCO that are going to be speaking at this convention in front of all these independent registered voters. And they are asking us to table their event. So I want to hear him pitch this idea. And I think it'll be really interesting. One thing that I've talked about since even being vice chair is how do we capture the independent voter? How do we capture their vote? How do we potentially find libertarians within their ranks? How do we get them plugged in to the LP and get them fired up to work for us or just vote for us? Everyone always wants to say, we need to increase members. But actually, the way that you really want to work politics is you first want their vote. Because if you can get them to vote your way, that helps you in the long run, but it gives you a way to introduce your ideas, your political ideas to them, so that when they choose to become members, that are a solid member, right? There's always this worry that our ideology is going to get watered down. Well, if you're worried about increasing memberships, yeah, you're running the risk that your ideology will get watered down. It may not. But if you give people time to be educated on your political ideas, then you can win them over as members. So first you want votes, first you want supporters, then you want to create members from that base of people who want to get active. And it's always going to be a small minority. But it would be really interesting to get the LPCO in front of all of these independent voters, or unaffiliated voters as they're called here in Colorado. And I think it would be really wise because we will be the only political party in front of them. So that's what I would say is going for it. In my opinion, what's going against it is probably the cost. I don't know the exact figure, but it was what I was told was pretty steep. Now I want to hear it from this guy's mouth, what the cost will be specifically, because we may think it is worth the investment, but I just really don't know one way or the other if it is or is not. So I would really like to see what that ends up looking like. I would really, really like to get us in front of the independent voter. I just really would like to do that. Most people don't realize that the independent voter in Colorado is the largest voting base in Colorado. It's the fastest growing, quote, party. They're not really a party because they're unaffiliated from a party, but they gain membership all the time. They're always growing in numbers. The two major parties, the Democratic Party has plateaued, and so we could expect them to start losing voters as well. But the GOP has always decreased in size every year. So wouldn't it be interesting? Wouldn't it behoove us to kind of figure out how the unaffiliated voter thinks, how they feel, how they vote? How do we capture their vote? Are there members there that are more libertarian that we would like to bring in as members? Is there really active people in that subset of people? The unaffiliated voter, really, we don't know anything about them. And I think it would be really prudent for us to give them some attention because they are a powerhouse. They double the Republicans and Democrats, like for sure. They make up 42% of votes in Colorado. Maybe Alicia knows the actual percentage, but that's my understanding. So if I'm wrong, Alicia, you can feel free to correct me.
I think the latest figures show that unaffiliated, Madam Chair, is about 60% of the voter base.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you're not wrong. They're massive.
I don't know about Colorado specifically, but I'd imagine we'd be a relatively high state too, and the national average is even above that. So,
If I may just chime in enthusiastic support of this, I think that there is a true disgust with the uniparty that is growing and growing and justifiably. And this is a way for us to use that to advance and secure the liberties of our citizens. I'm enthusiastically in support of this.
The cost may make you think maybe not.
Yeah.
It was my understanding it would be between $3,000 and $4,000 for a table there. I could be wrong, but that's why I'm like, that's a lot. Mr. Savoy, I see your hand raised.
You're going to be noise of the noise until you change the voting method. And with ranked choice voting, you'll perpetuate two-party dominance. And once again, I come back advocating for approval voting that moves us beyond two-party thinking. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Atwood. Perfect. Here we have Mr. Live coming in the meeting. Let's see, I probably need to enable his microphone. Oh, perfect. Hello, Mr. Live. We are actually at your agenda item, and I was just speaking to it from the small amount that I know. So we're super excited to hear from you this evening. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Let's see, James invited me here, and it seems like James is not on the call. Is that correct? Or maybe I said
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, got it. So when James invited me onto this call, he didn't offer much context. So what I'm guessing is just a general overview of what's coming to the Independent National Convention. Does that sound like what the agenda item should entail?
Yes, and also he discussed with me a little bit about tabling at your event and what that looks like and how much that would potentially cost. So
Yeah,
all
great.
of those things.
So,
yes.
You got it. So we'll just kind of take it from the top, and thank you so much for making time for me and your board meeting. I really appreciate that. So my name is Christopher Life, and I'm the founder and executive producer of the Independent National Convention. And we created this event starting in 2020 to juxtapose the Republican and Democrat national conventions. I'm well aware that the Libertarian Party has its own national convention as well as other parties. But from our vantage point, we created this event to be able to create an overarching context for all independent parties, which we refer to them as opposed to third parties, to be able to have a space to come together, to collaborate, to verify where the common ground is, and to work together. The vision that I have for our future is one in which there's a high degree of collaboration between independent parties, including Libertarian Party, with each other, including Forward Party and others, and as well as with in collaboration with unaffiliated Americans across the country. I believe that what we all want in common is to no longer have the two parties controlling the country the way they do. And frankly, I believe that we need to be working together to achieve that outcome, not in any particular silo. And so that was the inspiration that formed the Independent National Convention in 2020. We've since run several of these events. And then INC 24 Denver is going to be our best, largest event so far. We have Andrew Yang, the founder of Forward Party, confirmed to speak, as well as Lindsay Drath, the CEO. We had Angela McArdle as one of our keynote speakers last year. We have just we have Zach Bush, and we likely have Cornel West tapping in. We're inviting Chase Oliver to come in and speak. He may speak virtually. We have a range of different speakers that are going to be presenting in our general sessions. And then our panels are going to just be absolutely incredible content. We have multiple panels on movement building throughout the independent sector, including with Libertarian Party. We have a panel all about how we can work together to be able to put a block of non-two-party candidates in Congress in 2026. We also have topics that range into health, into technology, into agricultural and food, as well as topics in the sovereignty space like trust and privacy. So the content that we have this year is going to just be absolutely spectacular. I've kind of curated all of it, and I'm very proud of it. The event is going to be held at the Marriott Tech Center, which you may know is in South Denver, really great venue. There's still rooms available in the room block for $209 a night for folks that aren't in the Denver area. And we'll have hundreds of people there. We have a number of different exhibitors. We're gonna have a really great exhibit hall. The hall is gonna get great traffic because you have to literally walk through the hall to get to the main stage. So all roads basically lead through the exhibit hall. And it would be just our absolute honor to have the Libertarian Party present, securing a booth. A booth would position you with a modest financial partnership with our event, which we'd be so grateful for. I know we're all aligned and working towards very similar objectives. The National Party made approximately a $10,000 sponsorship last year, and we really appreciated that. And it also gets you right there on ground zero for folks from across the state who are interested in independent politics, who could very well plug into the Libertarian Party as their channel and corridor for involvement. It's also a way to get the Libertarian Party out in front of people that will be coming in from all across the country, and represent that critical component of this independent movement. Libertarian Party, founded in Denver in the 70s. You have been the pillar of what I would refer to as independent politics for the last 50 years in this country. And so just to keep that legacy going by having that formal representation, I think is very powerful and important for the larger movement, and also important to keep building your network and your Colorado base. So those are some points to start the conversation. There's much more I could say. I'm curious if anybody has any particular questions for me.
Yes, Mr. James Williams, you have the floor.
I think I heard you say it, but could you repeat the date when the convention is going to be?
Yeah, so actually I failed to mention that. So that it's going to be September 17th through 19th. So this is next week. This is right around the corner. James Wiley and I have been in touch for the last several months, and I guess this is the right moment in time to bring me into this board meeting.
Yes, and also those of you who may not know, Mr. Wiley has volunteered if we go ahead and do a table, has offered to do all of the tabling every day. Like he's volunteering. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. He's volunteering to table for us at this if we so choose to move to do so. Do we have any?
Where would we be planning to table? Where would our big targets be?
Well, so we have the exhibit booth. Are you asking physically where would the table be?
I mean, actually, okay, no, never mind. I was conflating with other stuff. Never mind. I gotcha. Go on.
Got it.
Mr. Vance?
Yes, thank you. Maybe you already answered this question, but I was just curious, how many people would we be talking about attending this convention?
Yeah, we have several hundred confirmed right now, and my guess is we'll probably double that with the folks that, you know, register at the door and whatnot. We were at about this size of registrants last year, and we ended up with about 650 people at the event. So I'm guessing we're going to probably come out between 500 and 750.
Great. So we will move approval to an email ballot at the conclusion of this board meeting. That way we can discuss a little bit more about the cost. And yeah, are there any further questions for Mr. Life this evening? Thank you so much for stopping by our board meeting and educating on us on this great opportunity. And I will, oh, Mr. Atwood.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the dollar amount for a booth.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in and mention that. So our booth prices are $34.95, and they come along with 1 VIP ticket and 4 general admission tickets. I'd be happy to just offer you a discount of $3,000 with the same ticket inclusions. I would also like to offer a $100 discount code for anybody in your network. And so at the level of movement building, I would be very grateful for you to get the word out to your network in Colorado. And I'm happy to offer you that $100 discount code as a incentive to help make it easier for people to plug in.
So I just want to make sure that we got this right. So basically a booth would cost us $495 for both days.
I said $3K for a 10 by 10 booth.
Well, I thought you said it was $3,495 and we were getting a $3,000 discount. That's where I got confused. So
no, yeah. So I was offering you a discount of a total of $3,000 as opposed to the $34.95.
Oh, okay.
That yeah. And again, that also comes along with the 5 tickets, and so that's also, you know, covers a lot of value there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Justin.
The $100 comes off. How much is its standard ticket?
Standard ticket is, I believe, $345 right now for the 3-day event.
Okay. The approval voting party may be interested in having a table there also. If here in Colorado.
Okay, I'd be grateful if you'd get me in touch with them.
Well, he is them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little unorthodox that he's, you know, but we like him and he is technically a libertarian, so we allow him. So go ahead, Mr. Atwood.
Could somebody here in the room have your contact information, or anyone? Can I hear your
I'll just give it to you real quick. My phone number is 760-420-8983. And texting me is the best way right now. I can't even get to my email inbox because I've got 100 messages coming in a minute. So it's a pretty busy season right now. So just text me if you want to connect. 760-420-8983.
Thank you very much. I'll check with my board and I'll talk with you later.
Thank you. Great. So then I'll leave it to your vote. And again, if you'd be open to sending out any type of broadcast communications to your network and invite them to come and have a really powerful experience together, I promise I'll leave your members inspired, activated, connected, and just more ready to put effort into the cause than ever before. There's going to be a lot of inspiration towards what it's going to look like for us to move our country away from two-party control.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Okay, thank you for including me. Best to
Yes.
you. Okay, bye.
So do we want to think about this and have a little more discussion? Do we want to do that and move it to an email ballot? Or is there any interest now? I would also entertain a motion now, if anyone, or we can sit on it. It's completely up to you guys. You know,
Madam Chair.
I'd like to have a conversation about clear KPIs for this investment, like what exactly we're looking to get out of this investment and how we could measure it. And that's what I would like to see.
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Could we move this to be discussed at the committees?
Next Monday? That's going to be too late.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Email ballot maybe?
Yeah, I'm kind of deciding, do we want to just do this here, or should we get further into it with an email ballot where we can spend more time discussing? I mean, we can do the discussion here. It's not a big deal, but it's already 8 p.m. I'll hit Mr. Vance and then we'll kind of come back. Mr. Vance?
I'm good with just getting this over with now. I don't believe the financial value is there for us as a party. $3,000 is a lot for us. I mean, a lot of years we make $30,000 in a year. That would be a tenth of what we make in a lot of years. So I don't necessarily want to spend that money on something that's not going to really give us the bang for the buck. I'd much rather this go to the convention and let Aaron and his wise hands use it appropriately.
Let's move the discussion to an email, and then if we decide to proceed forward, we can do an email ballot. I think it's definitely worth dissecting more, or even in the Teams chat week, because I think having KPIs, that when I heard the cost, I was like, well, we're going to need some KPIs to make sure that this is a viable investment for the board to be spending money on. Because yes, it sounds good, it feels good, I'm super interested in this demographic of voter, but how do we know that this is going to really produce or yield anything on that actual direction? I think it's a great opportunity, but it is a high cost. So how do you guys feel about kind of just bringing the chat about it to the teams? And then if we feel like we want to move forward, we can just do an email ballot.
That makes sense to me.
Okay, great.
I do have to motion to do that, Madam Chair?
No.
Cool.
Yep. All right, so let's open the floor for public comment. We got to get I wish there was a banner we could just put behind Frank Atwood. I am the approval voting party. Frank, if you got a banner, you need to bring it so people know, they can see it. But is there any further public comment this evening?
Just thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. And I like to believe I'm a diplomat, not a spy, but I'm sure some of you know me to be both. So I'll be pleasant.
But we really do need you got to have your approval. You got to have your merch out. Everyone wants to see your approval voting merch. Although it would be a little weird being in this board meeting, but I don't know. It's fine. Mr. Aaron Lamb.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I just wanted to share the excitement and update that's happening here in Keensburg. We have an election coming up. As some of you know, I, of course, am the elected Libertarian mayor. My mayor pro tem, who's also the president of our local school board, is also now a registered Libertarian. We have an election coming up where everyone besides the two of us is up for re-election, and we have the people that have turned in their signatures, and essentially we've already won the election. I was able to get one of the other candidates to switch our registration from unaffiliated to Libertarian. So right now we're looking at a board with at least 3 registered Libertarians and 2 others that are going to be very strong allies. So a lot of exciting things happening here in Keensburg, and I definitely just wanted to share that with the rest.
Good work.
That's why you're the king of Keensburg. Super exciting news. We're delighted to hear that. That's amazing. We also talked this evening during board reports with the affiliates director, who is chomping at the bit to get Weld County affiliate started. So that's a nice recap and a tie-in to that. Mr. Blake Huber, I'm assuming it's Blake Huber, just says Blake. Let's see.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. And I just wanted to make sure that you knew who I was. I was not able to change my name in the meeting, and I come up as meeting guest, and I didn't want anybody to think that I'm spying. I'm still Libertarian. I still am involved in the Libertarian Party and that sort of thing. I'm just running for president as an approval voting party advocate. So anyway, keep going. Good job. And my condolences on what's happened in your life in the last month. Wish the best wishes for you going forward.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. All right. So with that, I'm going to announce the next meeting date and time. So the next meeting will be, yes, Mr. Secretary.
October 7th.
Perfect. I usually just say the first or the second month of the month because I never know. All right. So the next meeting will be October 7th at the Independence Institute with the option of being online at 7 p.m. We look forward to seeing you all then. So thanks, friends and neighbors, for taking time out of your evening to hang out with the Libertarian Party of Colorado and get through our, board meeting. We really appreciate it. So with that, we are adjourned at 8:06 p.m. Have a great evening, everyone. I know I enjoyed my girl dinner in my pajamas during this meeting. It was really nice.